Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a knife review slash knife overview that I'm really excited to share with you guys because I didn't expect to like these so much. These are different versions of the Lionsteel Best Man. We have the DLT Trading exclusive Wharncliffe, and then we have a single blade, a single drop point blade in the ebony wood, and then we have a dual blade version in olive wood, I believe. But just excellent. Let me move these over. I am not a traditional knife guy, right? These are modern traditionals made with modern materials. We have some classic materials, of course, like wood, but we have, in this case, micarta, and the liners are titanium. The blade steel is M390. This is really cool, and it's something that somebody like me who's not really into traditional knives, more into modern stuff, there's a lot here for somebody like me to appreciate. I'm pretty picky when it comes to a traditional knife, and these exhibit a lot of the qualities that I look for, so I'm really excited to share this with you guys. Thanks so much. Thanks so much to Chris. This is actually a familiar name here, Bacon Swag FL on Instagram. Please give him a follow. It's because of people like him that I'm able to bring you guys daily knife content. It's also because of my generous patrons. Thanks so much for supporting me. There's a link for Patreon right down below. And please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. You can get these right now. The Lionsteel Best Man 1 and 2 with a single blade is available. The Lionsteel Best Man through DLT Trading, the exclusive in micarta. They also have carbon fiber, silver twill, red micarta, I think, M390 blades, it's available, everything but the dual blade. So I will link this stuff right down below. You guys can check it out. These are all, I'll close this secondary blade here and show you. These are all essentially the same size with the single blade out. So we're going to be using just one for size comparisons here initially, and then I will bring the others back out when we talk about the other elements here. How about up against the Ontario Rat Model 1 and the Ontario Rat Model 2? You can see here, this is a good-sized slip joint. It's not quite the same size as the Rat 2, but it's nearly that size. This is about perfect for me. I'm a big fan of, the only other traditional knives that I've really loved were like the Great Eastern Cutlery knives. I love the Gek 15, but if I'm not mistaken, it's a bit shorter than this. That's the only thing where I was kind of, these are a good size for a slip joint knife, right? So there you go. Let's go ahead and put it up against the Spyderco PM2 and Spyderco Para 3. There you go. Interesting there that the cutting edge is actually the Best Man actually has a slightly longer cutting edge than the Spyderco Para 3. And last but not least, let's put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue, and of course, the Benchmade Bug Out. It's smaller than the Bug Out, but it's not by a lot. It's just the presence of the handle. It's a lot more narrow, right? Let's go ahead and do carry profile up against the Spyderco Para 3. So this knife is about the same in terms of thickness. It's a little bit thinner. Can we show? Yeah, a little bit thinner. There's no pocket clip though. The gentleman who sent it, Bacon Swag, actually sent it in this really cool hitch and timber pouch that's got a slot for like a ferro rod, flashlight, and then he had one of the knives in here like this, and it was perfect. This is how I would carry something like this. This is just about ideal. So if I can link these pouches or something similar down below, I will, because this is just awesome. And it gives you, it gives you an excuse to carry a flashlight. I don't need a ferro rod, but I love EDCing flashlights, right? So, it gives you an excuse. Some people, that'll drive them crazy, right? Not having a pocket clip on it, but I carry a slip joint generally just in my right rear pocket, and it's generally a backup knife, right? Or it's a knife that I get out if I don't want to be deploying a PM2 in a room full of people that might be a little wary of something that big, right? this is a little less intimidating. And that's something that I care about. If you don't care about it, that's your own business. That's something that I care about, though. Carry profile, that's kind of what you're looking at there. Let's go ahead and measure blade stock thickness on this guy. Actually, you know what? No, let's do the hardware check. Get out my tools as per usual. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the description of this video and the section that talks about my tools. The pivot here is a T8. And it's pretty cool that this is a slip joint that actually allows you to take it apart if you want to. I'll admit I have not been inside of this. It's probably not going to be as simple to put back together as a, minimal hardware frame lock or liner lock. But if you really want to get into it, you can. At least it looks like it. I don't believe that this is a pinned construction, but I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comments section. These two screws holding on the scales are T6. So we have basically two T8s and two T6 heads on both sides, unless there are additional screws underneath. So not necessarily minimal hardware, but nothing you can't get at with a set of quality tools. Let's go ahead and measure blade stock thickness here. Blade stock on this guy, and I believe they are all the same. I'll look here in just a moment. Is coming in at 92 thousandths. Let's take a look here. And there's the twin blade one, and then the DLT exclusive. These all look to be about the same, guys, so I think we can probably progress. I will weigh them all here real quick. Let's go first with the ebony wood version here. 2.4 ounces. You know what? I was about to say something about ratios, but I never actually measured it. That might be really helpful, right? We should probably do that. So the overall length of this guy is coming in at about 6.6 inches. Blade length is coming in definitely under 3 inches. Absolutely. That's right. It's splitting the end of the bolster. So we're good there. And then your cutting edge is about 2.75. And that is going to be the case with this guy and this guy. This guy has a secondary blade. I suppose, even it's not available, but we'll go ahead and measure this one with the shorter blade just so you guys know. This one with the shorter blade out is coming in a little bit under. It's about 6.4 inches overall with a 2.75 inch blade, and the cutting edge is coming in at about 2.6 inches overall. So anyways, normally I don't do a 3-knife review. I don't want to review these like all individually. It's better to put them all in one video. So the ebony wood version again comes in at 2.40 ounces. I think the ratios are pretty good there. This version in micarta, the DLT Trading exclusive version, is definitely going to weigh less because it does not have those titanium bolsters. And that's the case for the carbon fiber version, the silver 12 version, both of the micarta, or maybe one of them is G10, I don't know. 2.05 ounces. And then this dual blade one will undoubtedly be the heaviest at about 3.21 ounces. This is something that is a little bit too big and too bulky and too heavy for me to carry considering what it is. I'm going to want to carry something like at that weight, I'm going to want to carry something like the Para 3, right? Something with a pocket clip on it. But fortunately, I say fortunately, this isn't one that's available. If you like to carry stuff like this, then okay. And you know what? I think it actually still fits just barely in that pouch. It's pretty tight though, so I don't know. You might have to have something custom made if that's how you want to carry it. But anyways, there's your weight there. Ratios on the single bladed ones are pretty good anyway. Did we do everything? Yeah, I think we did. I don't think there's anything else to do. So, listen, for the remainder of the review, I just wanted to give you guys kind of a look at this one. And I like the idea of a single-bladed version with a clip point blade. And perhaps I think the new Lionsteel Best Man 2, I think might be offered with a single clip point blade, which I think is a good idea. Other than that, I don't know what the difference is between the 1 and the 2. I couldn't actually spot one. But this one is less interesting to me, so I wanted to show it to you guys, let you know that it exists. I want to say that these dual blade versions come in at about $150, or they did. But these single bladed versions are substantially less expensive, and they're kind of the main highlight of this review here. tell you guys right now, the DLT Trading exclusive versions of these come in anywhere from about 95 to 105 or 110. And then these guys here with the titanium bolsters come in a little more expensive at like 120 to 130, something like that. Considering we are looking at, either modern or classic scale materials in combination with titanium and M390, that's pretty cool. I know people are going to be quick to say, I watched the video on Lionsteel M390 and I'm not impressed. Those tests were from quite a while ago, guys. Any company who's once done this or once has had this said about it's a few years is a long time to correct things. I haven't heard much about subpar heat treating from Lionsteel in quite a while. I'm going to guess that they got whatever quality control issues they might have been having. I don't know. I don't work for them, right? I remember, them responding to tests and things and saying, no, we have blades here that are running, 59 to 61 Rockwell for M390, which is what they're supposed to be. There were a few reported cases of people getting some real soft M390, I think more than normal, which is what sparked the controversy, because there's always going to be an anomaly. Any company, even if they're 99.9% on the head with their heat treatment, there's always going to be at least one knife out there that's just improperly heat treated, right? So anyways, they apparently had a larger than normal number of knives being improperly heat treated, especially with M390. It's been a while. I'm going to assume that they have their heat treat stuff worked out. I don't know that, though. I'm not a professional metallurgist. I'm not going to go through and test these things. But assuming that the heat treat is done correctly, that is a really excellent value, no matter how you look at it. In fact, I'm going to tell you how good of a value I think that is. Literally 5 minutes before I started this video, I went to DLT Trading, and even though I have an affiliate program worked out with them, I paid full price for a silver twill version of this guy right here. I think it cost me $105. Yeah, I couldn't pass that up. I have not handled a traditional knife or a modern traditional or anything even close to these on this channel for so long that made me want to buy it. I tend to steer away from stuff like this because there's just nothing out there aside from the Great Eastern Cutlery stuff, which is never available, that interests me enough to want to pay for it. So these guys come along and almost instantly make me want to buy one. And I did. I bought one right before I started this review, and it'll get unboxed and shown on this channel at some point, perhaps even before you see this review, given how I pre-record my content and unboxings tend to be prioritized. But anyways, yeah, what we have here is basically a pretty squared off rectangular body, which, normally I'm like, oh, well, the ergonomic lines are, less than ideal for, but listen, it's a slip joint, right? I read this hilarious review on, I can't remember if it was Blade HQ. If this was your review, if you're watching this video and you were the person who left this review on a slip joint knife, be ready to feel some hot shame. I'm not going to actually say the name of the person, but if you're watching, oh God, you should feel less than intelligent about this. This person purchased a slip joint knife and then proceeded to give it a negative review because while they were using it, it folded up on them because it didn't have a lock and they cut themselves. This was an actual review left by an actual person. Slip joint knives don't have locks. Slip joint knives are slip joint knives, right? I mean, how did this person not grow up with a Swiss Army knife and not understand that this is the nature of knives that don't have locks? Why were you applying pressure to the spot? That's the only thing that could have happened, right? Apply pressure to the blade, push the blade into, right? So this person, this less than fully aware and capable person who has somehow made it this far in life, gave a slip joint knife a negative review for not having a lock and disengaging, that's how they put it, and cutting themselves with it. Stupid. Anyways, slip joints don't have locks, right? So just be aware of that. But that's, this is a slip joint style knife. So what I was saying about the ergonomic lines is that I don't really expect there to be anything locking me in here. I just want to be able to hold on to it, right? Funny thing is that there's enough room on the handle where I can actually get a full 4-finger grip, which is fine. I'm probably not going to be applying that much force to this style of knife. It's much more likely I'll be holding the knife like this. Probably not going to be putting my thumb up here, which is another thing that this poor, unfortunate soul, to quote Ursula from Little Mermaid, probably, maybe was what they were doing, right? Doing some detail work, and maybe they were pushing down the spine. I'm sorry, I'm getting hung up on how unintelligent that review was, right? It was like a 2-star review. They calculated out how many stars it was worth. Okay, so anyways, I don't expect much in the way of ergonomic log hand here, but I'm pretty impressed with the room on the handle, right? I also really like the fact that these areas are chamfered and actually they're kind of rounded, right? All of this, the fit and finish is really great here on both of these knives. The titanium bolsters and the transition, I love that there's just a little bit. They chamfer the edges of the bolster and then the edges of the scale, right? So the transition is nice, and there's a little, they didn't have to do that. They put that little line there to just add a little pinch of class. It's just nice. I guess that wouldn't be the sound. It would be more of like a fairy dust sprinkle, right? But yeah, that's just really nice. And there's no like ugly, there's a little bit of a weird gap right there. This is wood, so I'm not going to judge it too hard. But like back here, look at this area. Seriously, the backlock, which is steel, by the way, and how it transitions to the crowned spine of the blade. The liners here, which I think the liners are also steel, perhaps. Maybe they're titanium. It's hard to tell because the magnet just wants to stick to this whole area. But any transition from one, material to the next is just really good. It's all just excellent. Same thing with this guy. I'm just really pleased with this. I've seen so much slop and garbage, even from Great Eastern Cutlery, right? And I'm not seeing that here. I'm seeing really, truly excellent fit and finish. And guys, we haven't even gotten to the good part yet. I don't know why this review is taking so long, but my Carta looks good. I ordered the silver twill carbon fiber, so I'm really excited to take a look at that. I'm sure you guys just noticed something that was really satisfying if you are a traditional knife person. And guys, I am not. So if there are elements of this that I don't go over, I am a modern folding knife enthusiast, right? So I'm a little bit out of my realm of comfort here, but I like these, and I'm just explaining why I like them. These have nail nicks that I think probably would do better. Like the position of this nail nick on the DLT Trading exclusive is a little further down, making this one a little bit easier to open up, or a little bit more natural feeling to open up. This one, you have to apply a little bit more pressure to open up. But here's what I love about this, right? Can you see it? Bam! That mid stop. This, or the half stop, right? Sorry, traditional knife people. Anybody who's, I don't think that there are knife makers out there, combing my content for, I wonder if he's ever said anything about exactly how to make a slip joint knife or what his preferences are. I doubt it. But on the off chance, right? If you're going to do a slip joint, that half stop is so important. That distinct, snappy half stop. I like that. Why? Well, number one, it's not a pleasant feeling to have a mushy mid-zone. Choice of words there, right? But as far as a knife, right, nobody wants a mushy mid-zone, right? But it's also nice to know, considering a lot of us are transitioning. If you do like to carry knives like this, you're probably transitioning back and forth from knives that lock and knives that don't lock, right? So with these knives, you disengage it and then that thing's going to come down. With these knives, they just start coming down, but it's nice if you apply maybe too much pressure. You have kind of this, when you get a knife out and you use it and then you put it away, your mind is likely on the task at hand and not on your knife. So doing that, you have this extra little indication that kind of clicks the lights on in your subconscious and goes, hey, this thing's coming down. Maybe you put a little bit too much force on it. We put this little mid-stop in here, this distinct mid-stop, to get you to kind of be aware so you don't come down on your, on your sausages, right? You don't want to do that. I appreciate that. It's something that I like, and both of these are just, they're tight and snappy, and it just feels like quality. I like how that feels. The snap into the closed position, the snap into the open position, it's all very good. Very good. I really like that. Between these two, I mean, you guys, I'm sure, are going to have your own preferences. I think they did the drop point blade really well. In fact, let me clean my nasty fingerprints off of this. Let me give you guys a close-up of these blades because they're both done really, really well. I do not, for whatever reason, I don't mind the satin finishes on these guys. I think it's because they're slip joints. I don't know why, but it looks good. But both of them, the edges and everything were just done really, really well. Sorry, we had some extra fingerprints there. But you can see there, everything is, it's just really nice. And take a look at this guy. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's nice. It's almost like there's a little extra polishing there on the edge. Nice swedge. Almost a fully flat ground. It is fully flat ground back here, but there's a swedge up here. These guys get thin. Very, very thin. So you don't have a lot of room to drop, and obviously, but the spine's not, thick to begin with, or the stock is not thick to begin with. So this is great. I like this blade a little bit better on this knife just because of the dropped. This is I don't know if they call it a sheep's foot. It looks more like a Warncliffe to me, but I like these style of knives for getting into packages and stuff. If you need a little bit more belly, then you've got that, right? But yeah, these are sharp and these are little, and they're meant for simple cutting tasks and making, short work of little things, right? Just creating that extra element of efficiency in your day-to-day life. It's done in a classy way. Everything looks good. Everything feels good. Everything is solid. Like the side-to-side play on these guys is non-existent, which is just really great. That's nice to feel. Obviously, you push it, right, and it's gonna go down, but it also wants to snap immediately back into position as long as you don't push it back to a certain point. It's got a heavy bar, or creating that heavy feeling of spring, which is nice. I know that there's like a way that slip joint people or traditional knife people measure this type of stuff. Like the pull is like a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 5. I'm not really sure. And then maybe there's a separate way to measure the strength of it snapping into place. I don't know. If you could enlighten me on that, it'd be interesting. I don't handle enough knives, even if I was aware of that scaling system or that system of measurement for strength. I would have to handle hundreds of these to really be able to accurately apply it here, but it feels good to me. I think it's excellent. I don't think anything is too difficult. If anything, this guy probably has a little bit more tension, and the nick or the pull or whatever you call that is not in the most ideal place, right? But this guy's good. Real nice. How about centering on these guys? I believe they're both pretty darn good. Can we see there? Yeah, this one's pretty darn close. Maybe a hair off. How about this guy? Sorry, I don't want to have it like I got my finger on it or something. It's pretty darn close. I'm sure, here's the nice thing. They can be adjusted, right? I don't know that I really want to judge them all that badly. Everything about these just screams like quality and classy, and it's going to do what it needs to do, and it's not really anything extra. If you like the bolster look, you're going to pay an extra 20 to 30 bucks for that. If you like the look without the bolsters, you'll pay a little bit less, and you can get one through DLT Trading, that is a really underrated, what am I trying to say? Exclusive. I think these Lionsteel Best Man DLT Trading exclusive knives have been sitting there for a long time because they just get overlooked. That is a stupidly underrated exclusive. These are good enough that I think I can pretty much recommend them to anybody. I think just about anybody can find a place for something like this in your collection. And here's the cool thing: because they don't lock and they're sub 3 inches, these make great travel knives. I don't know if there's a place in the United States where these are still illegal. Is there a place in the United States where it's like a no questions asked if it's over 2 inches or over 2.5 inches, it's just illegal? I'm not really sure. But for most places, and even outside of the United States, there are a lot of places where something like this can be carried on your person and traveled with, right? And you have a quality, trustworthy knife. It's not going to lock, but this is the type of knife that I would be happy to bring with me on a road trip, right? Or, as the name suggests, a wedding, right? This is the type of knife that makes a great gift. Whether you're looking for a gift for your best man, I mean, I think they knew where they were going with this, right? Or your groomsmen, holy crap, perfect. Or your mom, your sister, your brother, your dad, whoever. This is kind of, I can recommend it to literally everybody type of knife. And I mean that. This is really good. I'm very, very happy with this. I'm going to be putting this in 2 playlists. My most recommended knives playlist and my favorite knives of all time playlist, because it's very rare that a traditional knife even makes it on this channel. But then even if it does, I'm usually like, okay, whatever. It's fine if you're looking for a slip joint. These are great, guys. I really, really like these. I hope that the heat treat is back up to par, for what we expect from M390, which, a lot of people say, 59 is too soft. Yeah, probably. It's on the lighter end. M390 should probably be heat treated to 60 to 61, but 59 isn't like, oh my gosh, the world is ending for my knife that I'm just going to use to open packages. It should be, right? You buy a car that advertises 500 horsepower. By God, it better be, producing not to the ground, but it should be producing 500 horsepower, right? It's not like you don't want to get a dyno tested, and the engine is only making 380. It should be making 500, right? So I hope that that's the case. But everything else, wow, these are very good. I can't believe I just did a nearly 30-minute review on a traditional knife. But should we get this guy back out? I think he probably deserves to be in the shot, the dual blade version. Sorry for those of you who wanted to know more about the dual blade. It's the same thing, but it has 2 blades and it's thicker. Right? It's just going to be a thicker knife. That's going to be pretty much it. Thank you very much to Bacon Swag for introducing me to these knives. I'm really happy that I got a chance to take a look at them. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.